over 50, so what? Fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. Do you look after children or grandchildren? And do you know what to do in an emergency should they choke or need resuscitation? Delene gives us some helpful tips on choking and infant CPR. Please join us in the fun 5-minute fitness routine. You can do it sitting, you can do it standing. It's a lot of fun, so please join in after the break. Lastly, we learn about cargo bikes, e-bikes and bikes designed to take your elderly loved ones out for a ride. Do you look after children sometimes, or maybe grandchildren? Do you know what to do if they sustain an injury, get burnt, choke, have allergies or an insect bite? How is your first aid knowledge? Well, today we're speaking with Dee from Lynex First Aid. How likely is it that you might have to give CPR to a child? What happens in that scenario?
The case would be asthma, if they had a severe asthma attack, or anaphylaxis, or choking. And of course, all childcare centres have to have certificates in first aid, anaphylaxis, to be able to manage that situation. They have information on how to use the EpiPen and how to use the Ventolin with their spacer. So all the staff are fully trained. But at home, then having the knowledge of what's happening too with anaphylaxis is very important. But most of the parents that have an EpiPen would have knowledge enough to come along and learn how to administer an EpiPen.
So you're saying that an anaphylaxis attack could stimulate you to have to do CPR?
Yeah, if they go into full-on anaphylaxis, what happens, the blood pressure drops drastically and the airway closes. And if you haven't got the proper adrenaline to be able to use, then CPR might be the end result.
And the other thing might be with water?
Yep, with drowning is very important.
Down at the beach or...
Yeah, very important to be able to have the knowledge if you've got a pool. Even a spa, things can go wrong. Even a garden pond can be a problem. Or not having secure fences. And this is where, unfortunately, there's a lot of drowning. Children are so fast. There was ages ago that I saw a new garden had been pulled around a pool fence and the little one dug it out and was able to get under the fence, and there was a cover over the pool.
Oh dear.
And they got under and drowned. This is to demonstrate the CPR with the baby. So you must have it on a bench, waist height. We don't tilt the head back, unfortunately, because it's a mannequin. I have to tilt it a little bit so that I can show you the compression. We don't put the hand fully on the head because it's a fontal there. So it's just hold the head gently. 2 fingers, 30 compressions. 2 puffs from the cheeks only for the baby because of their tiny lungs. And then we do again 30 compressions, 2 breaths until the ambulance arrives. And I always recommend that you leave your fingers in place and we can feel the depth of the air that you're blowing into the lungs, that it's not too much to expand for their little tiny lungs. You'd be talking to the ambulance, so even if you didn't count the exact 30, that's enough. And away we go.
What about tiny tots? When would you likely give CPR to just an infant?
With choking, my granddaughter, when she was 7 months old, wasn't really crawling, and they'd put the Christmas tree up and done the Christmas wrapping, and a piece of sticky tape was rolled up. Tyler picked it up, put it in her mouth, and lucky my son, 2 doors down, had done heaps of first aid with me, and he was able to get it out. Just with a simple thing with sticky tape. And that was stuck up the back of her throat.
With the choking, what do you do if you have a child that's choking?
I always like 2 hands, front and back.
And that's an older child as well?
Babies, children, adults, all. And the Heimlichen was one that they used to use a lot, but damage was done to the organs underneath. So that's really important with choking, to be able to have the skills to do that. My granddaughter asked for a popcorn, and I gave her a little bit of popcorn, and she started to cry because I only gave her a little bit, and of course it went down the airway and her eyes, she started to cry. and couldn't breathe, so I did the compression front and back and it came out. Just having the confidence to be able to do that and not panic.
But you've just given 2 examples right there, and there's a lot of people watching who may not be aware how easy it is to have a choking incident.
My grandson, he's just turned 6. About 18 months ago, there were peanuts at the top of the kitchen on the bench, and I'd pushed them back, and he went and got Thomas the tank, got up on that and got the peanuts and chewed them up and choked. So we had to do the same. So even with us, with our skills, we still had children, as much as we try and protect them, and still can get into mischief. And to think he got Thomas the tank, could stand on it and get up and reach the peanuts was amazing.
Now, what about batteries?
Batteries, dreadful.
Yes.
And they're really serious.
If a child swallows a battery, do you use the same choking technique to try and get the battery out?
No, you'd be getting the ambulance ASAP, but sometimes you won't know. So it's trying to look and see if there's anything around that's indicating what it is. It's very important to make sure that these objects aren't around. They'll put anything in their mouths. The children that have come in with blue loof in the toilet, and it's pretty obvious, they've got blue all around their mouths, and they'll get into things up their nose. It's amazing. But what goes into the mouth is a real concern. I had a choking years ago at Nathan's birthday. Jamie was standing there with the egg and spoon and he was quite blue. And what had happened, his mum saw him, and this was before mobile phones, so I'd taken him to the steps and I put him over my knee and I did the compression on the back, and I was quite concerned because he was blue. We got the ambulance, and in the finish I did one full on the back with his chest on my knee, and it came out. I didn't even look because the ambulance was coming down the street, and when I went out it was one of those medium-sized raspberries, and the gelatine had expanded in his airway and was a complete blockage. But the ambulance were happy. They did his oxygen levels and he was fine. It could have been a real situation if there was someone there that didn't have the knowledge, then that would have been really serious.
Have you got some tips for people what to do around the house to prevent any potential choking hazards?
Well, I suppose the most important part is to be aware of what can happen, because there's so many things they can put in their mouths. Grapes are another thing that I used to worry about. People would say they cut them in half, but they're still choking. So if you can cut them a slice, then it's got a chance for the airway. Skins on hot dogs are very important. We've had them choking. Marshmallows. There was a lady in our area where I lived that did toasted marshmallows, and unfortunately she put it in the young child's mouth and he choked, and even the area ambulance came, and unfortunately it was too late. Just being aware. Jelly lollies was another. So that's my main concern. Everything's chopped up properly, skins are taken off. Apples, because that can be another thing that chokes. And making them sit and eat is also very important. Don't let them run around, and parties and birthdays and things can be really bad because that's when they're excited and they've got something in their mouth they can choke.
Well, thank you very much for all your information today. I'm sure you've helped a lot of people, give them a bit of peace of mind, and obviously you've really got it across how important it is just to have some basic training.
Have basic training.
Because it is so easy for things to happen.
And the panic is the problem.
Thanks so much.
Okay,
Steve.
thanks, Carol.
Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50, so what?